Feature at Santa Anita. And the Grade 2 Monrovia Stakes, 6.5 furlongs the distance. Scratch Judy in Disguise, Golden Production, Sky High Gal, all out. A field of 7. Pontchartrain, even money, make it 4 to 5, 21 minutes to post.
Yeah, she will most likely be our favorite as we get closer and closer to post time here. Strong connections, Gary Stevens, Tom Proctor just winning his 1,000th career race yesterday. And Proctor off to a great start here in Southern California for this meet. 3 for 8 so far and on the board with 3 others. Pontchartrain is 2 for 2 coming down the hill. You always have to beware of a horse that's undefeated in a particular situation. She is quickly becoming a course specialist here. And she's adaptable. She can be pretty forwardly placed if she needs to be. She can come from off of it. We will see Kindle out there winging it as fast as she can early on. And the scratch of Sky High Gal really does help Kindle's case here.
Absolutely. And Kindle at 7 to 2 on the comeback for Gary Mendez.
To the horse on the outside, that is as close as can be between those 2 runners. And you did see the gray filly there, Power of 10, just kind of get in a touch. I think it was a case of her coming in rather than the outside coming in.
3924, photo down Golden Gate. When we come back, the team at the Glen Hill Farm, Tom Proctor, Gary Stevens will try for another stakes win. Pontchartrain, the favorite in the upcoming Monrovia. Stay tuned.
Miz Direction coming home gamely as well. Wildly getting involved late. Miz Direction fly. Miz Direction perfectly ridden by Garrett Gomez. Miz Direction came on the scene at the right time. Wins going away. Kindle digs deep, finds more. Miz Direction chasing gamely on the outside. Kindle holding on to the lead. Kindle, Miz Direction, Miz Direction, Miz Direction. All class up to win it.
She owned this turf course. Miz Direction, the 2 consecutive victories in the Monrovia Stakes, and it all led to 2 appearances and 2 victories in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Time for somebody else to win this Monrovia. No Miz Direction, she's retired. But Pontchartrain is here. Kurt Hoover, the current even money favorite. Your thoughts on this Grade 2 Monrovia?
A very interesting race, I thought, Lafitte. Just for some history on this race, it's the 47th running, and a lot of really good mares have won this race. Tom Proctor has two of the contenders in here, including Pontchartrain. His dad, the late Willard Proctor, won a lot of races. Tom just won his 1,000th earlier this week. Willard Proctor won this race back in 1979, 35 years ago with palmistry, so I'm sure it would be extra special if Tom Proctor could win the Monrovia this year. As for the race, the favorite looks like the right horse, but I thought the bottom horse, Winding Way, had a long shot chance. She ran very well 2 back in the Ken Matty. Last time second in a race that came off the turf behind a very sharp mare of Peter Miller's, and the race has proven to be productive already. The 5th place finisher, Kynes Funky Monkey, came back and ran a good second earlier this week. So Winding Way at a price to be upset the field in a 47th running of the Monrovia. We'll take a break, come back with the post parade for the Sunday afternoon feature.
They'll be filing into that starting gate in 8 minutes for the 47th running of the Grade 2 Monrovia. Welcome back to Grandstand. Christina Blacker, Kurt Hoover, I'm Lafitte Pinkai. There's the updated odds on the track for a post parade. Pontchartrain, even money. We start with Kindle. Lightning fast and hard to catch. Second to Miz Direction in this event a season ago.
Yeah, she almost took the hill away from Miz Direction in this race last year. She's been away since about that time. We haven't seen her since January the 26th of 2013.
Rafael Bejarano has won 3 of the last 6 Monrovias. Number 3 is Purim's Dancer, 5th behind stablemate Pontchartrain and the Senator Matter.
Yeah, she was 5th that day, and she ran a little flat in the stretch. She had a perfect trip from the crossover in that last start. Really no excuses for her in the Matty.
Number 5, Ciao Bella Luna, Peter Miller, the trainer. Martin Pedrosa's never won the Monrovia.
The blinkers come off today. They put the shades on for that last race in the Cat's Cradle at Betfair Hollywood Park. First time trying the downhill course for Ciao Bella Luna.
Ultrasonic, the U.S. debuting Juddmonte mare for Bob Baffert.
We haven't seen her in 4 months. See how Baffert does with this new acquisition.
Moving quickly, Pontchartrain, morning line favorite for Mr. 1000, Tom Proctor in the Glen Hill Farm.
The race goes through her. She is on fire in the mornings.
Cameron Kate, Tyler Bays won this event in 2005 with Awesome Lady.
She was beaten by these pretty handily in the Matty. She was 6th, beaten 2 lengths. Prior to that, a winner against Non 2 coming down the hill.
And a very dangerous Winding Way, as Kurt mentioned, 2nd to Pontchartrain in the Senator Ken Matty.
She has some speed to work with. She gets back to the turf course, and a good effort for her in the Matty.
That's the field for the 47th running of the Grade 2 Monrovia Stakes. And we go back to the fall meet at Santa Anita and the Senator Ken Maddie. Several of these exiting this race. You'll see this afternoon. Pontchartrain, the favorite, by virtue of her performance on this particular afternoon.
Yeah, Judy in Disguise is scratched today, so we'll watch Winding Way and we'll watch Pontchartrain. Winding Way making a pretty good run of it there as she's closing. She got the jump on Pontchartrain, and watch Pontchartrain switch to that left lead, kind of get in clear throughout the stretch. Gary Stevens having to work more so to keep her straight than to keep her moving forward. She was much the best that day, and I took a look back, 2 replays back for her as well in the Unzip Me. She did the same thing, Lafitte. She didn't have any horses to her inside, so she was able to get in and get along the rail. Once she got the rail to her inside, she was very comfortable. She leveled off. She went straight with no problem. So I think she's just a filly that's more comfortable with the rail on her inside than she is running down the middle of the turf course. She's going to have to probably do the same thing again. So at least Gary Stevens, who's been aboard her for the last 2 starts, he can anticipate that. He knows what he's working with, and who better would you want to be at the reins than Gary Stevens?
That familiarity can go a long way in trying to keep her straight and at her very best in Pontchartrain, pictured with Gary Stevens. Even money here with about 5 minutes to post. We'll be checking in with Gary Mandela shortly and his thoughts on the quick filly Kindle on the comeback. And again, the good news for Kindle, we touched on this at the top of the show, she doesn't have to deal with Sky High Gal early on, but according to Bob Baffert, Ultrasonic is ultra quick herself.
Yeah, so Ultrasonic will probably put some pressure on her. The thing about Kindle is the 6.5 furlongs, that last half furlong catches her almost every time. She is so sharp, she is so fast for 6 furlongs. The extra half is when the closers can wear her down. She is fresh today, and she can run well and win off a layoff. We've seen her do it in the past.
Looking at Cameron Kate with Tyler Bays. Here is Kindle, trained by Gary Mandela. She hasn't raced in nearly a year. Is she ready? Is she good enough to take out the likes of Pontchartrain and win this Grade 2 Monrovia Stakes? We check in with Michelle with Gary in the grandstand.
Guys, I think there was a height limit to come on HRTV today, but I was able to compensate by having Gary sit down with me, so we're kind of on the same level here. Kindle, where's she been away for almost a year from the races now?
We gave her a short break after the Santa Monica last year, and in her training coming back to a race in the summer, she had a small bone chip in her left ankle that we had to remove surgically, so she got a vacation after that. It's healed up real well, and her training's been good all fall over at Hollywood Park, and we think she's doing real well.
Now, is this the ideal spot for her to come back in, and you guys just happen to fall into this race because she was ready?
No, you fell into it because of the timing that it's ready, and you hate to pass a $200,000 race if your horse is doing good, because there is no money for turf sprinters around the country. So in a perfect world, she would have had a prep for this, but she's fired fresh for me before, and hopefully we'll get lucky today.
Now, she's 6 years old now. Do you see anything different in her mentally? I mean, we know she's a very, very fast filly. Has she shown anything that she's a little bit more mature this year?
I want to think that I've seen that in her training, but if she goes 41-4 for the half, then you'll know she fooled me. You know, that's the thing with this filly, is she's such a sweetheart and a doll around the barn and around the track in the mornings. Nothing ever phases her or makes her nervous. But once her engine gets turned on, once they load her in the gate, she's different, but you can't look for signs from her in the way she trains, because she trains different than she runs. So what I'm going into the race thinking in my mind might be overly optimistic. We'll see.
All right, good luck here.
Thanks, Michelle.
Guys?
Yeah, Gary Mandela indicating earlier in the week she might be a little more relaxed now, but considering her post, her God-given natural ability, I don't see a scenario where she isn't in front in the early stages of this Monrovia.
No, I think she'll be winging it out there. And the thing about Kindle, this is probably the worst post for her, because from the outside post coming down the hill, they turn right before they turn left. You can carve out a straight course from the outside. You're actually a little wide from the inside as they make that initial turn to the right before coming left.
Kindle 3-1. Now we're looking at Ultrasonic. Here we have Bob Baffert training for the Juddmonte Farm. All set for her U.S. debut. I asked private clocker Gary Young for a quote. His response, quote, immensely talented. She has some attitude issues, unquote. But she does look like she's been behaving herself thus far.
Yeah, thus far she has it. And we heard that echoed this morning. Bob Baffert talking to Zoe Cadman on First Call, saying that when she first arrived from overseas, she would stop, she would box, she would prop. She didn't want to train at all. And this is an interesting situation because we don't usually see Bob Baffert take horses from Europe and bring them here to the States. And Jedmont has given him some very nice horses, and now they give him this mare who has some quality and some class about her from overseas. The thing about the horses that have been running in England, when they show up in America, they have never trained to where they've seen another horse coming at them. In the mornings when we train, horses go clockwise, horses go counterclockwise. You put these Europeans on the track and they see a horse coming at them, they panic. So I wonder if that's maybe what happened with this filly. A lot of the times you'll see Simon Callahan, my husband, some of the others that have trained in Europe and bring a horse here from Europe, they wait until 9:45. The track is almost closed. Barely any horses are out there, and they just go out and jog the wrong way so these horses don't have anything else coming at them. That could have been what got Ultrasonic a little bit off her game. One thing that really stuck out to me looking at Bob Baffert's statistics, it is a small sampling, but he is yet to win with a horse transferred to him. First with trainer in the last year and a half is not something that he excels at. He's better when he brings them up himself than when he takes them from someone else.
We'll find out if those numbers or statistics lie in about 2 minutes as they get set for this Monrovia. Mike Smith, who's won this Monrovia twice, Paga 2001, Miz Direction a season ago. For Baffert, he has won this Monrovia, but not down the hillside turf course. It was off the turf on the main track for a Bob and Beverly Lewis-owned Resplendency with Casey Fuselier in the saddle New Year's Eve back in 2004. Post time for the 47th running of the Grade 2 Monrovia Stakes. Even money on Pontchartrain. Gary Stevens in the saddle. Trevor Demon standing by.
A winding way going in. Gates closed. And away there we go. All came out well. Kindle from the inside gate very fast, and Kindle will clear them early. Purim's Dancer is right there in the red cap. On the far side, Pontchartrain. On the extreme outside, we have Winding Way in there as well. They are then being followed by Ultrasonic, who's no more than 4 off them. They're all tightly bunched here. Cameron Kate is on the far side, and Ciao Bella Luna is last. They run to the half mile, and Kindle is the leader. Winding Way keen to go on from second. Purim's Dancer right there third. Pontchartrain in the gold cap is in fourth. Only 2 off these leaders. Cameron Kate is now on the far side, and Ultrasonic at the back of the leading group has 6 to make up. Ciao Bella Luna is last. They come to the top of the lane, and Kindle is the leader. Winding Way right up alongside, and Pontchartrain now moving in. Here's Pontchartrain in the gold cap coming to tackle them. Purim's Dancer on the inside. Ultrasonic in behind that, and then comes Cameron Kate. They are homeward bound, and Kindle is holding on. Pontchartrain on the outside in the gold cap. Pontchartrain now coming at Kindle. Kindle, Pontchartrain, Pontchartrain the advantage. Purim's Dancer down at the rail, but it's Pontchartrain, and Pontchartrain beautifully ridden by Gary Stevens. Pontchartrain up to win it. Kindle was second. Purim's Dancer third, and Ultrasonic finished fourth.
Gary Stevens won his first Monrovia in 1986 with Water Crystals. He wins the 2013 edition with Pontchartrain, winning trainer Tom Proctor. And for Kindle, another gut-wrenching defeat in the Monrovia.
Pontchartrain was much the best today, confidently handled by Gary Stevens. Give Kindle a lot of credit. Gary Mandela was right. She is mature as she's gaining in her years. She went pretty slow for her coming down the hill, 22 flat for the first quarter. And so she was able to run a winning type of performance. She's just not as good as Pontchartrain is. And Pontchartrain running straight and strong through the lane. Stevens very confident, never had to go to the stick with her today.
The last 3 fillies or mares that have defeated Kindle, Pontchartrain, who you just saw, Teddy's Promise, and she's pretty good, and a 2-time Breeders' Cup champion by the name of Miz Direction. Wrong place, wrong time, yet again.
Yeah, Gary Mandela can't catch a break with this filly. And she ran a fantastic race, and off a year layoff, fantastic training job to get her ready to come back, and a fantastic training job from Tom Proctor. You know, Pontchartrain fresh today. She's been away for about 2 months. That's 3 wins in a row for her. She runs her tally to 5 for 7 lifetime.
In the Glen Hill colors, Gary Stevens with a hand ride, stick uncocked. Pontchartrain for Tom Proctor make it 1,001 victories. Gary Stevens, 3rd win in the Monrovia. We touched on Water Crystals in 86, a Berushka in 1988. Those victories for Bobby Frankel and Richard Mandela. This one for Tom Proctor and Pontchartrain. We check in with Kurt Hoover, who has the jockey of the third-place finisher, Purim's dancer, Joe Talamo. Kurt.
Joe, from your inside post, appeared you had a really good trip. Were you able to save ground the whole way?
Yeah, we were. We really had a great trip. Turning for home, man, everything opened up great. Kindle kind of went out a little bit, crossing the dirt, and man, I had a great trip through there. But man, them two fillies in front of me kind of quickened away again. But my filly ran a good race.
You had not ridden her in a long time. You had won on her about a year ago. Is she a real genuine, honest, hard-trying sort?
She is, and she definitely loves down the hill. I mean, she definitely knows her job. And like I said, she was real comfortable inside there, and Pontchartrain was right to my outside. And when she kicked away, I was able to, like I said, get in to the inside there. But them two fillies just kind of out-quickened her the last part.
Sometimes you're just third best. Joe, thanks for the visit. You got the last race off. We'll see you back on Thursday.
Thank you, guys.
Jockey Joe Talamo aboard the third-place finisher, Purim's dancer. And guys, how about that final time? That's 4 100ths off the course record set by California Flag way back in 2008.
Racehorse time. They were tearing down that hillside turf course as Pontchartrain enters the winner's circle. And how about Purim's dancer, Christina? You could have claimed her for $25,000 when she broke her maiden. She's graded stakes place. She's won half of her starts and earned more than $200,000.
And the only bad news for her is her stablemate.
Right.
Just a little bit better coming down the hill. Pretty impressive record for Purim's dancer, 5 wins and 11 starts, and she picks up a piece of it here today. Kindle, you really can't say enough about her. It's just a tough defeat for Gary Mandela. Rafael Bejarano rode a great race. She was very relaxed, just skipping along in the early stages of this race, but Pontchartrain much the best here today. You know, Tom Proctor, not really known for his horses that run first time out.